hello, hello. We want to welcome you all one more time to Love and Relationship. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Mama Mina Gomeda.
Hello.
And we will be welcoming our guests. So let's enjoy some music as we welcome from Instagram. Pastor Papa, hey, you're welcome. Ralph, you're welcome. Kwachua, we want to welcome you all. Cassandra, welcome. It's going to be an interesting time as we'll be discussing love and relationship. I mean, I'll be looking at Facebook and be welcoming our Facebook guest from Facebook. I want to welcome Miss Jax. Hey, all the way from GH, my GH people.
Hetty, you are welcome. Helena, you are welcome.
Rapshan, Instagram. Ifwa Century, welcome. Bafo.
Facebook viewers. Abena Sewa, you are welcome. Abena Osei, you are welcome. Nana Dujem, Jima, you are welcome.
Kofi Boo, I see you, right? The Lexus Baraba. Queenie, welcome.
You are welcome.
The psalmist, I welcome you, psalmist. 32541, welcome.
Salam, you are welcome.
Hey, Ariane, I see you right there.
Auntie Bernice, Deacon Martha, you are welcome.
Sorry,
Valencia,
since your
you are welcome.
Is being used on another device.
You are welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be interesting today.
It's going to be good here. I want to continue to welcome you all. Want to welcome you. Hello, Abana. You are welcome. And you're most welcome, Instagram.
Inshirajua, you are welcome from Facebook.
And I can't
You're watching us, Jan. You're welcome. Raf, you are welcome.
Still remember the taste of my love.
Hey, Raf, welcome again.
Frimpon, you are welcome.
Still smile from your cheek.
Deacontina, you are welcome.
We'll be loving
hey, Afua,
you're
welcome.
Right, don't go, just be there with me.
Faustina, you are welcome.
Hey, Doris. Hey, Doris. AJY. Welcome. I see your wave. Safoni. Come on, give me a wave. Let me know you're right there.
Hey, Tracy, you are welcome.
Maybe just the touch of a hand.
Let's see who we got here.
Well, me, I fall in love with you every single day.
Hey, Ernest, you are welcome.
And I just want to tell you.
Dear worshiper, I got you. Worshiper, hey, hello here. Janeiro, you're welcome. Welcome. I see the wave. See my Instagram people waving, right? Waving us right here. We're almost ready to start.
Oh, Rosemary, you are welcome.
Place your head on my feet and
we will be starting very soon. Reverend Hadassah, hey.
Maybe
how are you? Ajua.
Where we are.
Wanted to go ahead now. Want to welcome you all one more time. Instagram viewers, welcome you. Facebook viewers, want to welcome all of you to Love and Relationship. Today we are talking about transparency in marriage, transparency in relationships. If you're dating, you're about to get married, you need to learn transparency. So what we wanted to do now is that invite your friends to watch this video, this live stream together with you, both on Instagram and on Facebook. Go ahead and invite somebody, share the page quickly, and be commenting. Come on, let's go. Mom, tell us who is on.
We have here Abena, Jamina, you are welcome. Pearl. Hi. Hello, Bridget. How are you, Bridget?
Baby, it's all part of a plan.
You are welcome.
I'll just keep
Theodora,
on
you are
making
welcome.
the same mistakes.
Let's see who we got here.
Oh,
Let's see. We have Evelyn Osei. Welcome, Evelyn. Lisa Honey. Welcome. Mr. Mogo Wealth. Welcome. Welcome.
Esther, New Joy, you are welcome. Opari Don't Call, you are welcome.
Thinking out loud, maybe we found love right where we
Jima
are.
Kwabena Che, you are welcome. Marianne, you are welcome. Hello, all of you. God bless you guys. Amasewa Mwako, you are welcome. Kingsley Georgia J. Ajima, oh, the pastor.
Hey, man of God, we see you right there. We see you right there, man of God. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be good here today. Thank you. All right, so we'll probably just zoom in straight away.
Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars.
Music. Want to zoom in straight away. Today we are talking about transparency in relationships, and I cannot emphasize more how important this is in every relationship, every marriage. You are dating, you want to get married, you need to know this. You need to know this about transparency in relationship and the importance of transparency in relationship. Usually when there is no transparency in a relationship, you'll find out that the husband or the wife begin to hide stuff. And in hiding stuff, it creates a lot more problem. For instance, where you have a husband who is in the shower, and I've seen this countless number of times, is in the shower and the phone rings and runs out of the shower with all the soap lather on the man, just dashes out and grabs the phone because why? The man doesn't want his wife to see who is calling and what's on the phone. All of this is an indication that there's no transparency in the marriage. You're hiding stuff from your partner. And how are you going to be able to live with somebody you love, somebody you're going to get married to, and you cannot trust the person? So when we talk about transparency, we can substitute transparency with the word honest and trustworthiness. And so I want to ask you a few questions here that I believe that every couple, married or unmarried, should think about it. Have you shared your dreams with your spouse? You can ask the question, honey.
Do you pretend to like something just to appease your spouse?
Have you,
Do you tell your spouse when you are physically or emotionally attracted to each other of the opposite sex? Are you open about your needs and discuss with your spouse the healthiest way to meet them? Does your spouse know your shortcomings and accept you anyway? Do you feel safe telling your spouse when you've made a mistake so that you can tackle the problem together? These are a few questions.
These are some questions that I think that if you cannot honestly answer these questions, then there is a serious need for you to introduce transparency into your relationship and transparency into your marriage. And I want to say this to everybody, married, unmarried, in a relationship, dating, complicated. I want you to know this, that when it comes to transparency in marriage, it is biblical. And every Christian marriage should have transparency as part of their relationship. And if you're not married, this is good for you because you need to know this from the onset. Before you even get married, you set the rules and you set the boundaries before you even get married. You talk about it, you discuss it before you even get married. And if you're married and you didn't get the opportunity to introduce transparency into your relationship and in your courtship, it's not too late. You can. And usually when there is no transparency in a relationship, what happens is that there is mistrust, there are arguments, and the devil is able to creep into the relationship and to destroy what God is building with you and with your partner. So we're going to zoom straight into it and go into the scripture, talk about transparency, and then some areas that you need to be transparent. If you're married, if you are dating, and if you are courting, if you are courting and you are sure that I'm going to be marrying this person, some of the areas that you must start being transparent in your relationship. We're going to be talking about that. But whilst we do that, do this. Be sending in your questions. If you throw in your quiz, send us your questions in the comment section. Our team will pick the questions up, and we are going to be responding to your questions. The questions can be on transparency in relationship, in marriage, but also it can be on a variety of issues that you want discussed. All right. So transparency, like I said, means honesty in a marriage, sincerity in a marriage. When we say something is transparent, we are saying that it's something you can see through. All right. You can see through. You can see through a person. If you can see through a person, the person is transparent. Just let's do this. If there is a glass and you can see through the glass, it is transparent. You can see everything on the other side. It is transparent. And every marriage must come to the place where you want transparency to be a part of the marriage. Now, transparency itself, God is the one that introduced it. When God created man in the garden, man and woman was naked. And the Bible says they were not ashamed. Genesis chapter 2, verse 25. They were not ashamed. They were transparent with each other. Every relationship where there is transparency, there is innocency. Every relationship where there is no transparency, it means there is a sin somewhere, or there is something somebody is doing and hiding, which he doesn't want the partner to know. Once you don't allow transparency into your marriage, you allow the devil to creep in. And once the devil creeps into the marriage and into that relationship, then know that from that day, there'll be no trust. And if there's no trust, you have misunderstandings, and you are always one foot is in the marriage, but the other foot is out. If you want both feet to be in the marriage, then you must have transparency in your relationship. Now, Jesus Christ said to his disciples in John chapter 12, verse 46. Can you please read this for me? I've come.
John chapter 12, verse 46.
Yeah.
I have come into the world as a light, so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness.
So again, we see Jesus Christ here talking about the fact that he is light, and he was talking to his disciples that he is light. It means that he has nothing to hide. All right. Let's look at first. Let's look at
John 3.
1 John 3, verse 20, honey.
For everyone practicing evil hates the light.
Now, watch this. Everyone practicing evil hates the light. Any relationship where there is evil, the person who is doing the evil will not welcome transparency into the relationship. So this is a signal for you. This is a signal. If you are courting and you are dating and the person you are with does not want to open up things to you, it's a sign that this relationship is not a good one. If you are married and your partner is always hiding something from you, it means your partner is doing something evil. Take it from me. This is what the scripture says. Say that again.
Let me start over.
Say that again.
For everyone practicing evil hates the light and does not come to the light.
So anyone who is practicing evil hates the light and does not come to the light, does not want transparency. If you are doing good, you will like transparency.
Lest his deeds should be exposed.
That's right. So when people have stuff to hide, they don't open up. And they know that if there's transparency, their partners will know the evil that they are doing. And they are not ready to stop the evil. They enjoy the evil. They want to keep the evil, so they don't open up. So that's 1 John First John 3 verse 20. That tells us that, so we can say that darkness, or where there's no transparency in a relationship, it's equal to sin. Where there is transparency, it's equals to trustworthiness and truthfulness and honesty. All right. God himself, when he created man, wanted man to be transparent. So that's why God did not clothe man. Then when sin came in, man covered himself with fig leaves.
Right.
So God now to come in and cover them with a sacrificial lamb. Kill an animal, spill the blood, and cover them up. That's when when sin entered into the world, now transparency became a very difficult thing for people to hold on to. So may I tell you that if you are married, please, if there's no transparency, something is not right. Begin to introduce it now. If you are courting, you are almost getting close to getting married, you must start opening up and start being transparent with each other. So a few areas where you want to be transparent. Well, I mean, I can say the first one.
You have to be transparent in regards to your background.
Yeah.
Okay? Your background, finances, your family background.
Let's start with the first one. So there are a few areas that you can be transparent. The first one is your
past relationships.
Your family background is the first one that you need to be transparent with. And also your own background, whereby usually people try to hide who they are. People try to hide their background from their spouses, which I feel is wrong. Why? Because people will love you just for who you are. And the beginning of not having transparency in a relationship is hiding who you are, your identity.
Yeah.
You are not from a wealthy family. You are parading yourself like you are from a wealthy family. I'll tell you a story. So when I met my wife first, I was staying at a place compared to where she was staying. She was staying in a very nice community. Where I was not a nice place. So I had to let her come and know where I live, just to know me some more. And I wasn't worried at all. I just went straight to the point and I spoke to her. And I invited her. She came to see where I live, where I sleep, and she was comfortable. I was transparent with who I was. I was transparent with my background, and she was. And when we talk about your background, we are talking about your educational background. We are talking about your upbringing. We are talking about the family you come from. We are talking about the challenges you have been through in life. Your past as an individual. These are the things that we are talking about. So if we are saying that be transparent with your background, we are saying that open up.
That's right.
Don't hide anything. There was a time where this was a pastor who got married to a lady. And you won't believe that everything that the pastor said was a lie. Everything. The pastor said he went to a very good high school, a very prestigious high school, because he wanted to impress the lady. The pastor said he did this, he did that, he did that. It was years into the marriage before the lady got to know that everything was a lie. And as a matter of fact, by the time she got to know, there were many things about the gentleman which was a lie. And the gentleman would never even open up finances, open up anything at all in the home. So when you are with somebody and you now begin to do your own investigation on the person and you begin to see that what they are telling you and what is the truth is not the same, you better start advising yourself. So if you are married, you better now start opening up your background to your partner. How did you grow up? What are the challenges in your upbringing? What careers have you been into? Your background is very, 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 very important. I'm Amina to highlight on finances.
How much do you earn? You have to tell your partner how much you earn. How do you make your money? You have to discuss that with your partner.
That's right.
What are details of your career? What is your financial standing? Are you in debt or owing? Do you have any investments, assets, or savings? Any financial obligations? Where does the money go? You have to discuss these things with your partner.
So Mamina is talking about us having financial transparency, which is a very big deal for people because they don't want to talk about their finances. But if we are talking about transparency in marriage, one of the areas and one of the very important areas is being transparent with your finances, with your money. It's very crucial. Why? Because if the devil wants to introduce a sin of adultery into your marriage, money is involved. You buy gifts, you get hotels, you go on vacations with whoever, money. But when financial transparency, you get to see what your partner does with his money, what you do. Your partner gets to see what you do with your money. Your partner knows how much you earn. You know how much they earn. They know your investments. You know the investment they are making. This helps a lot. You see, I know a gentleman who was doing well in life, and it wasn't like he really was doing something bad to hide something, but his upbringing never allowed him to be transparent to his wife. So this guy died before he even turned 40. And when he died, his wife didn't know if he had anything, any money. The wife did, the husband was okay, but the wife never knew where the monies were, where the investments were. And when the man died, the man left some children behind. And because the man was not transparent, the woman really had to suffer. It would take time before once in a while a friend of the man would show up and say, "Oh, are you aware that your husband did an investment when I was working in this bank? Are you aware that?" So when we talk about being transparent, don't just look at today, look at the future. Open up. Open up when it comes to your money, your finances. Open up when it comes to the financial blessing the Lord brings into your life, brings into the marriage. Open up how you spend it. Don't get worried. Even the way you take care of your parents, make sure that your partner know about it. Because that breeds trust. What's the next one? Talk about owing and talk about if you are in debt, talk about it, especially for those of you who are not married. You know, we live in the States, and there are people who get married and their wives or husbands were actually living back in Africa, and then they come and join them. Sometimes these people who join from Africa get a shock of their lives. They get here and the wife or the husband is in debt, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $80,000. And this discussion has never come up during the time they were dating, courting, even throughout the period of their marriage. The person comes in and starts working, and then the partner says, there's a $500 of loan we need to pay everybody. What kind of loan is that? If you had discussed this earlier, your partner will not be angry or will not be upset with you. So let's get to the place where we want to be financially transparent. Sir, please be transparent with your wife.
Wife, please be transparent with your husband financially.
The other area where transparency is needed is your friends. It's your friends. Mom, I want to talk about that. Being transparent with your friends.
You have to let your partner know about your friends. You don't have to hide or cover up the past friends, that before you got married you had with people. Okay, you have to let him know, open up for him to know that. Tell him the details about your friendship with that friend before marriage.
And even when you're married, you're going to have friends. Don't say that these are my friends and my wife shouldn't know them, or my husband shouldn't know my friends. This is how the devil enters into relationships and enters into marriages and ends up destroying the marriage. So if you get married, nobody says don't have a friend. If you have a friend, introduce them to your partner. Be transparent. If I go to work and I make some friends, male, female, and my wife doesn't know about it, and somebody comes to tell my wife, hey, we saw your husband with this person here, that person here, and my wife has been expecting me at home and knows nothing about it, and I come back, he says, where are you? I said, I was busy. She would think I'm probably cheating on her. On the other hand, if my wife knows my friends and I'm transparent, I say, honey, after work, I'm hanging with this friend. And she says, okay, don't stay long. Please make sure you come back at this time because we need to do this. That helps our relationship. So do not hide your friends from your husband. Do not hide your friends from your wife. That's what people do often. It's my friend, it's my friend. And I don't want my wife to not have a friend. Please be transparent. The other thing that you have to be transparent about is your health. You want to say something about health, Annie?
If your health condition is changing, especially if you are old enough and you know that you are, or you came into the marriage with a sickness, you have to let your wife know or your husband know.
Your health condition.
Your health condition.
You are diabetic.
You are diabetic. You are a high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. You have high blood pressure. You have some strange disease.
Asthmatic. You
have to open up
before the marriage.
Before the marriage, let the man, let the woman know. Don't hide it. Don't keep it secret. Don't say that I'm waiting till we get married, then I'll open up to him or I'll tell him. And even in the marriage, you don't say it until he finds out. That is not being transparent. You have to be transparent when it comes to your health.
You're trying to say something about even in a marriage where you are growing and there are changes.
Even in the marriage, when you are growing and there are changes, I'll talk about if the woman, you have, some sexual problems or the man has sexual issues. You shouldn't cover it. You shouldn't hide it. You shouldn't keep it to yourself. Share with your partner. Let him or her know. If you need help from a doctor, you go ahead, go see your doctor. And I believe that by the help of God, you'll be able to come back to normal or be healthy. And both of you would understand each other,
So with your health, your spouse can only give you the support if your spouse knows exactly what is wrong with you. But if you are hiding your health issues, sometimes even depression, you are so depressed and you don't discuss with your spouse, you don't discuss with your husband, you don't discuss with your wife. If you don't do that, your spouse doesn't know. If you are not transparent, they don't know what you are going through. And they get confused and they ask you are not talking. It's important that before they even ask you went to the doctor, you're not well. You went to the doctors, they gave you a diagnosis. You better break it to your husband or to your wife and let them know. Let them know what's up with you. That's when you're going to get the full support of your partner. That's when you're going to get your partner standing by you to go through what you're going through. Sometimes people get married and they don't want to talk about their health conditions. Sometimes before people get married, they have some underlying health issues and they don't want to talk about it because they fear that when they talk about it, the man will run away or the woman will run away. Nope. Be transparent because transparency pays off.
Verizon brings you pay it forward.
Now, the other thing that you need to be you need to be transparent about is your feelings for another person other than your spouse. In other words, you are getting a crush on somebody. In other words, you are being attracted to somebody else. I want to talk about that. Where you are married, but you see somebody on the job, and then it's like you're having feelings for the person. You want to talk about how when you get home, you have to tell your husband, tell your wife about that.
If you're having a crush, although you are married, which is not a good thing, I don't see why you have to cover up or you have to hide it from your husband or your wife. You should be able to see it, talk about it, that this is what is bothering me. This is the temptation. It's a temptation. How should I come out of it? I don't think that you have to hide it until your spouse finds out. You have to open up. You have to share. You have to talk about it. Okay?
Also, sometimes not just you having the feelings, but somebody having feelings for you. Basically, they are hitting on you. You go to the gym and this guy is hitting on you. You're on the train and this guy is hitting on you. Somebody's hitting on you. You're at work and your secretary is hitting on you. Your accountant is hitting on you at work, and your boss is hitting on you. These are things that you need to quickly discuss with your partner and say, hey, I think something is happening. The way my boss has been looking at me these days, I feel like the way this look is not normal, and the way he's been complimenting me. Start discussing that with your partner. Be transparent. Don't wait till it gets out of hand. Why? Because if your boss is doing that, and now you have to travel with your boss, your husband or your wife will know what to tell you. Because they know that this person, it's possible that this person is arranging the trip just to have a time with you alone. So in being transparent, you protect your own self. You protect your own feelings. So two things. One, if you are having feelings for somebody, it's better you let your partner know. If somebody else is having feelings for you, approaching you or showing the signs, trying to flirt with you, let your partner know. Be open. The first thing is that once you open up to your partner, you will discover that your partner knows, talks to you about it, helps you, pray with you, and then that which will become a trap to catch you will not be able to catch you again. The last one with Ma'amina hit on is your intimacy life. Your intimacy life, where you need to be transparent with your partner about your intimacy.
Be transparent with your partner about your intimacy. Talk openly about intimacy. Talk openly about sex.
Be open.
How do you feel? How is it going? Is it benefiting both of you? Are you enjoying? You have to talk about it. Feel free to talk about it. Okay? Feel free to introduce variety, but not what will hurt both of you. Okay? You have to be open enough to talk about it. Be transparent. Don't hide and don't cover up things. Don't hide your sexual needs from your spouse.
That's right.
Do not do that. Just open up. Don't be shy. You've been in the marriage for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you are still shy and afraid. I mean, come on.
So when it comes to intimacy, it's important. It's an important part of marriage. And when it gets to intimacy, like Ma'amina was saying, there's also another area where you want to be transparent. Okay? You want to open up to your partner before intimacy, during intimacy, after intimacy. You want to open up to your partner. You want to let them know how you feel. You want to let them know what you like, what you don't like. You have to be transparent, because remember, your partner is not inside of you.
You have to talk about it.
You are the one who is inside. You are the one who feel the way you feel. So you need to open up. There may be things your partner wants to do which does not do anything to you. It actually hurts you. It's important you let your partner know. It's called transparency in the area of intimacy. Be transparent. You are enjoying it, let your partner know. You are not, let your partner know. Don't pretend. Be open about it. If there's a problem somewhere, then we can find a solution to the problem. So one area also is intimacy in marriage. Now, so how do we? For the last part is being transparent with your dreams and your aspirations and your vision in life. Especially if you are not married, when you meet somebody, begin to share your dreams and share where you are going in life. And when you are married, continually be sharing your dream and your vision with your partner. Be transparent. As you share, you are being transparent. And as you're being transparent, your partner sees clearly where you are going. And they are able to give you the support that you need to be able to get you where you want to go. If you don't discuss with them and you just begin to run by yourself, what happens is that you don't have the support of your partner, number one. Number two, they don't exactly know what you are doing. So it's important that you open yourself up in terms of your vision, in terms of your dream, in terms of your ambitions. Don't hide and don't wait. Let them know. Let me use church as an example. You're in church and you know that the calling of God is upon your life. And you have never mentioned that to the woman who is going to get married to you, or the man going to get married to you. And then you get married and say, I've always known I'll be a man of God, a woman of God. The person probably doesn't want to marry a man of God, a woman of God. So if you had said it earlier, they probably would have walked away. So be transparent about your future, about your vision, about your goals. And then even as your vision changes, also be open about it and discuss it. So now the big question is, how do we introduce transparency into our marriage? How do we? You have to agree with your partner that this marriage is a marriage based on the word of God and based on the principles. And the Bible says, and the man and woman were naked and they were not ashamed. So you must agree that you are not going to be hiding things from each other. You must agree that you're going to be discussing things that concern each of you. So there must be that agreement. Number two, you must also tell yourself that I will never lie to my spouse. So there's sometimes when even the devil is trying to help you to conceal some certain things, if your spouse asks you, it means you have been found out. So tell yourself, I won't lie, and then release it. So if you agree that you will not hide anything from your spouse, that's the first step. You agree, both of you should agree. Number two, even if it so happens that you hide something and your spouse gets to get a wind of it or feel or picks it up in the spirit and says, honey, blah, 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 and you know it's true, you better own up. These are the two key things that you can do to help you to be transparent with your partner in their marriage. But number three, anytime that you don't allow transparency in your marriage, you are introducing the devil and his works into your relationship and into your marriage. Remember, the devil loves darkness. And when there is no transparency, it means that one person is in the dark or both are in the dark. The devil comes in there. So it's crucial that you don't give the devil space in your marriage. It's crucial you don't give the devil space in your relationship. It's biblical that there should be transparency in your marriage. Thank you. Now let's go to our questions. We have a few questions here we need to answer. So let's go to our questions. We'll pick the questions up one after the other.
There's a question coming from Facebook. Somebody just asked a question. How do you approach or become transparent when it comes to sexual, physical, emotional abuse during the dating stage? These are all.
If it affects intimacy. Okay, so if you are not married and you have been abused before, it's important that you also discuss that when you now get serious with your partner. And let them know your background. Let them know the physical and emotional and sexual abuses that you have been through in the past. Basically, you are letting your partner know what they are going to be dealing with. You are letting them know the food, you in the food. You are hiding nothing. You are letting them know the good, the bad, and ugly about you.
Yeah.
So when your partner gets to know that, your partner knows how to handle it. For the reason why we need to be transparent is for us to get the support of our partners.
And I appreciate each other. The partners will appreciate themselves.
Anymore? We have more questions that was sent in.
Okay. Hold on.
We have more questions that.
More questions.
Excuse me. We have more questions that came in. First one is, what's the difference between honesty and transparency? Well, there are two sides of the same coin. Transparent is seen through you. Honest is you being truthful. Transparency is you volunteering information. To be transparent, it means you are volunteering the information. Your partner doesn't know and you are volunteering it about everything and anything. Being honest is being truthful, being plain, saying things as they are. And the word honesty comes in where maybe you have to discuss something with your partner, you come clean. But transparency doesn't even need a discussion with your partner, but you can own up and begin to talk about yourself or talk about something that bothers you. Okay. More questions, honey.
In regards to transparency, do partners need to share every detail of their day?
Yes, as much as possible, you can share the details of your day. So the fun of relationship and marriage is this, that it's like I'm with you wherever you are, but I'm still not there physically. And it helps also with your communication if you talk about everything. All right, it helps with your communication in your relationship. But it's not going to be all the time. With time, you'll discover that you can't be talking about everything. I passed and I sat and I drank this tea. However, the most important things in the day will have to be discussed. When I go to work and I come back, and my wife also comes back, and we talk about our day. Of course, I can't give every single detail of the day, but I talk about the most important thing in the day, and she also does the same thing. Any more questions?
In a relationship, which is more important? Is it transparency or privacy? Or what is transparency versus privacy?
Well, that's opposite of transparency is when you are being private. You don't want your partner to know. You don't want your partner to know things about you. What is you being private? When you're married, you can't be private in your home. When you are married, you and your husband are in one space. You and your wife are in one space. So there's nothing like privacy anymore. You know, both of you have your privacy when it comes to dealing with other people. But when it comes to dealing with your partner, no privacy. Transparency is what you need in your marriage.
Somebody is asking me a question. Do women like it more when men are transparent with their feelings? Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, I have
when
to answer that.
When you're honest,
and
transparent with your feelings, to me, I think that is the best thing ever that my husband can give to me. So, because I want the man, I want to know what is in the man. I can't know everything about the man, but at least some of the things that come out of him, will let me know that he's an honest person. So yes.
So the feelings, yes. Release your feelings, brother.
You have to release it.
Don't hide how you feel.
No, not at all.
Release
you
it.
To voice it out.
Your emotions. Don't hide your emotions before your wife. It's very important. Be transparent with your emotions.
How can men build honesty and transparency with their partner when culture teaches men to hold in their emotions?
See, I'm glad you brought this up, that culture has taught us to hold it in. Culture has taught us men don't cry. Culture has taught us men don't show their weakness. But listen to me. Back to the Bible. Adam and Eve, they were naked and they were not ashamed. So Adam was not naked to reveal his strength and his weaknesses to Eve. All right? So in a culture like this, don't follow the culture, follow the scripture. Okay? Don't follow the culture. Follow the scripture. What is the scripture saying? Yes, the culture says that men are macho. Men don't talk about themselves. Men Men hide their feelings, but brother, follow the scripture and open yourself up to your spouse. In fact, you are stronger in the sight of God when you are a man who is transparent with your wife. You are stronger in the sight of God when you are transparent with your wife. Why? Because that's exactly what God wants.
During courtship or dating, how soon should you start discussing your finances?
Whoa. Whoa. So I feel like that must now begin, that must come in when now we are sure of this relationship and we are very close to getting married. And we know that this is for marriage and we are getting close to getting married. That's when you must start discussing your finances, because there are some people who come into your life and they want to just come and get what you have. So when you start opening up too quickly and they get to know that you have $250,000 sitting somewhere, their love level will go very high quickly.
Right.
Collect the money and they run away. So
maybe they come because of money.
Yeah.
You know.
So don't be releasing that early. Let it be towards when you are very close to marriage.
How do you navigate a relationship where the person struggles with transparency and is quick to jump to conclusions?
You need a counselor. Jumps to conclusion, struggles with transparency. It means you have tried on your own and you haven't found results. Now, what that means is that you need to get a counselor. First, you must suggest to your husband that you feel like where the marriage is, you feel like you guys need a counselor to really push the marriage to the next level. Don't tell them they have a problem. If you tell them your partner that he or she has a problem, so you are going to see a counselor, they won't go. So tell them that you feel the need for a counselor to help you to get this marriage to get better. For both of you to get this marriage to get better. And if they will love it, then you get a counselor, you go and you begin to talk. The counselor will listen to the both of you, and the counselor can make his or her judgment. It can tell where the problem is and will help all of you to navigate through the challenge and bring your marriage to a place where you'll be very excited and happy.
Is it good to be super transparent, like telling and sharing every little bit of your thoughts?
Yes and no. Yes, you can share every bit of your thoughts if your partner has proven that they can be trusted. In other words, things that you have discussed with them in the past, they have never held it against you. I know a lady who literally before she got married, she really was out there. She was playing everybody. You know, she was playing everybody. She was in every club. She was having all that kind of stuff. She gets married. Oh, transparency. So she opens up and tells the wife, the husband, oh, when I wasn't married, I had about 150 men and I love that. And in the marriage, anytime the lady is talking to a man, the next thing the guy does is, oh yeah, you've gone back to your past, hey? You've gone back again. You are a prostitute. You are this. You are a harlot. You are a whore. This kind of man, you don't release every little bit of your life to the person because they are not mature enough to handle it. So you have to weigh your partner on the scale and find out whether they have what it takes to handle your insecurities, to handle every bit of your life.
If you have a question, please let us hear it. Okay, we are taking
questions. Okay, so this was one, you answered it. Really is transparency necessarily for trust? Oh yes, you read that question. In a relationship, is transparency necessarily for trust? Yes. Transparency is the foundation of trust. If there's transparency, there'll be trust in the relationship. Now, when I say there is trust, it doesn't mean that one doesn't do wrong. But when you are transparent, you open up everything. And when you open up everything, your partner trusts you. It doesn't mean that you do everything right. It means that they know everything so much about you That's it. When you open up and you say the right thing, in my life, basically, I've come to a place where I rather hear the good, the bad, and the ugly about people and live with them than people try to conceal things about themselves for me to go and find out later. And when I find out, I discover that what they are hiding is something they don't want me to know. And if I get to know, would affect the relationship. I'd rather you let it out. And I know, and I still want to relate with you. So if you keep letting it out, I trust you. So yes. Any more questions, baby? All right. If you have any more questions, we have a few more minutes to go. Let's take your questions. Going back to culture, which plays a big deal in our lives. Some of our African men weren't taught about transparency and find it difficult to even discuss. How can we help them? Or when do we know when to let go of that relationship? Okay, number one, if you are in a relationship, at a certain level of if it's getting serious, you need to start teasing the person with knowing stuff about the person. And you need to introduce the topic of transparency into the relationship. We have some questions also that are coming from Instagram. So I hope our team are picking it up. So yes, begin to raise the issue of transparency with the guy or the lady. Start discussing even when you are dating. Raise that issue up. See how they feel about it. Especially if you're talking about African men. See how he feels up. If he's not comfortable, let him know that for you, your ideal relationship, you want there to be transparency. And so you would like him to open up as much as you are also opening up in the relationship. If they find a problem with it and they tell you point blank, but I am not going to open up my life to you. I'm not going to discuss details of my life to you. Then you should know that this guy is going to give you problems. And if you are the person who wants to go the biblical way, you want to have transparency in your marriage, please say a very goodbye to the person and move on with your life.
What do you do when you are transparent with your partner and he uses that against you? What do you do? You've already opened up to him or her. So if he uses that against you, don't be offended. Don't take off any offense. Rather, let him or her know that you are a changed person. Okay? You are a changed person. So let him continue to use it, but don't take any offense or don't be offended about it at all. Because if he's like that, there's nothing that will change him from using that against you but you. Okay? Letting him know that he can now trust you. Letting him know that you're not going back to that past thing or life again. So it's the building of trust. It's for you to build the trust that he or she have to have in you. Then you know that you have a healthy relationship.
So if your partner also, in addition, if your partner also uses the things you say about yourself, being transparent against you, your partner is not mature enough. So you need to be, in this case, I would say that be selective as to what you say to your partner and when to say it. You get what I'm saying? So be selective about what you say, when to say it. One day you will say it, but get to the place where you will say it when your partner is mature enough to handle what you want to say. Is that cool? More questions, honey?
Okay. If you were open and totally transparent with women, with no filter, would they really find you more attractive? Or is it that something that they think they want but don't really know?
I think it's a woman's question, Amina.
Is there such thing as too much?
No. This question, the very answer. If you are open and totally transparent with women and you don't filter, you're just plain, would they really find you attractive? if you are open to the women?
Yeah, like Rev said, that you have to know the woman that you are with. Okay, you weigh the woman by steady. Just you are with the woman. You talk to the woman every day. You break certain things up. Just to test her small to see how the person will react. If the person is mature, you will know. For you to say whatever you want to say, you will know. If the person is not there yet, you take your time.
But the guy is
for the
asking
person to be
that
there.
do women like that?
They like it, but not the initial stage. So the initial stages in the relationship, you don't have to just open up everything to the woman. You don't have to do that. You take it step by step. You take your time. It's a gradual process. You take your time to go through it. Some of them, the woman will know by just observing you. Some of the things to the woman, you have to tell the woman. Okay.
That's awesome. So Mamina has nailed it right there. Brothers, please don't be in a hurry to say everything about yourself. As the relationship develops, then you are releasing, you are being transparent little by little by little by little by little. Because Mamina says they don't like it when you pour everything in one day. Why does transparency with your partner play a big part in having a healthy relationship? Well, why does transparency with your partner plays a big part in having a healthy relationship? Transparency, like I said, breeds trust. Transparency, like I said, does not allow the devil to invade into your marriage. Transparency makes your partner know you better and can better assist you and support you in whatever you are going through or whatever you are pursuing. So that's why transparency is marriage in your marriage. Okay, what is important in your marriage? Okay.
Another question. What do you do if your partner fails to be transparent about her finances?
So what do you do if your partner fails to be transparent about her finances? Whew. The question I want to ask is that who started this? Because sometimes, and I'm going to answer the question here unfiltered, but first of all, let me talk to the person who asked the question. It's a man is asking about if your wife is not opening up with finances. The question is, when you got married, were you open with your finances? Because what I've discovered in my years of counseling and talking to people is this, that especially with the men, when they are making a lot of money, they tend to they just give money to the wife, and the wife doesn't know how much come in, where the money goes, and they embark on so many investments and projects and whatever. The moment the wife now gets a better job, start making money, then they want to find out exactly what the wife uses the money to do. You've been a very bad leader. You have not set a good example, and now you want to lord it over your wife. So if you are a man and you really want financial transparency in your home, you better start opening up now. Don't wait till when your wife starts earning more money than you, then you now start arguing and start calling us to help you. But on the other hand, if this man is a good man, but the wife still is hiding, I think that you need to talk to your wife about the importance of her being transparent financially. First, have a discussion with her. Some of the things we've spoken about is very important. Then number two, if she's still not listening, I think you should go back to your counselor or go back to your pastor and discuss with your pastor or your counselor and tell them that this is what challenge I'm having with my wife. My wife, since she started making 6 figures, has been hiding her finances from me. And then a counselor can come in and find out what really is the reason and help you to deal with it. Now, when it comes to finances, sometimes the reason why the women want to have their finances is that the men are worried about them the women fixing their hair, spending basically, fixing hair, nails, buying makeup, shoes, and all of that, clothes and all of that. So the women feel like, well, let me hide it, and when I spend, my husband doesn't know. But that's also you not being frugal. You can take care of yourself, but if you know that what your spending must be hidden, then you know that what you are doing is not good. You overspend it. All right, so brother, talk to your wife. She's not listening. talk to the counselor or a mentor or a spiritual mother or something or father who is very mature or a counselor. Do that quickly.
Yes.
And take the next question.
It's very important to do that you consult a counselor, a spiritual person, a spiritual head, or a mentor to talk to both of you about your finances. Now, Emmanuel is asking this question: what will you do if you are transparent and your partner is not, or do not trust your transparency? What do you do if you are transparent and your partner is not, or do not trust your transparency? What do you do? You just have to continue because you know that you are doing the right thing. And then gradually, I believe that your partner will come along. You don't have to force your partner, okay? Be yourself. Do not hide anything. Be honest enough. In other words, be truthful. And gradually, you will see that your partner studying you for some time will also get along or come and join you. Okay.
Awesome. Any more questions from here? And then some new questions just came in.
Yes. How can you be selective in your transparency?
Yeah. Another question is to me.
Okay. What happens?
Let me answer it. Yeah. How can you be selective? Is that you've been with your partner. You are there. You've raised issues. For instance, if it is finances that has been creating problems, and your partner is not mature enough to handle it, be very careful about talking about it. If it's about you're dealing with your friends and they are not mature enough to handle it, be very careful how you open up on that. If it's dealing, for instance, with your sister or your brother, and anytime that topic comes up, your partner, your husband is highly emotional, your wife is highly emotional, you still have a family, you have to deal with your family. You have to be selective. You have to know when to talk to your partner about the things that they are very sensitive about, like your family and all of that. So when we say being selective, means you have to be wise. You have to study your partner. You have to know the things that when you talk, you open up about, it doesn't help your partner, and don't bring them up. Wait till when they are mature enough to handle it. Annie.
Yes. Wait till when they are mature enough to handle it. Why would you, a woman, turn her cell phone face down when you, as the man, is around?
No, I mean, I will answer. The women are turning their phones down.
I don't know why the woman have to, or is always turning her phone down. That means she might be hiding something from you. If she's not hiding anything, she shouldn't turn her phone down when you are around. Okay, woman, if you're hiding something, don't do that. You better open up to your partner. Let him know. Okay, let him have access to your phone. Okay, and don't be turning it upside down or down when he's around.
And then work this. And then if there is something bad you are doing, and that's why you don't want your partner to see who you are talking to, stop it now. Because that phone calls will not stop coming. The phone calls will keep coming. And the people who are invading your marriage, they don't care about your marriage. And they will call at any time. They will text at any time. They will WhatsApp at any time. They will send all their message at any time. And that can destroy your marriage. So if you are doing something bad, stop it now. Okay. What happens if you are partially transparent? I didn't answer that. Partially transparent or selective about what you say and your partner finds out somewhere else. Well, you need to so the question is what happens if you are partially transparent or selective about what you say and your partner finds out somewhere else? Well, number one, we said the reason why you are selective is because your husband doesn't have the maturity to handle, or your wife doesn't have the maturity to handle what you are going to say, because in the past they have not handled it well. So when they hear from outside and they come and tell you, why haven't you told me? Well, tell them, travel back into history and tell them that about 2-3 months ago, I brought something similar to you, and it turned into a fight. So I figured you don't like me opening up about these things, these particular things. That's why I've not said anything about it. Look at their reaction. They start reacting in a very bad way because of what they heard, not because they didn't hear it, but because of the content of it. They know that they are not mature, and tell them this is the very reason why I didn't want to tell you in the first place, because I know your reaction. Do people realize how transparent they are when they try to be manipulative? I don't get this question well. Do people realize how transparent they are when they try to be? I don't know. I don't understand the question, so I'm sorry.
The next question. What do you do when you are transparent with your partner, but they don't trust your transparency?
Well, Mom, answered a similar question. Just keep being transparent for you.
Yeah, it's for your own good.
Yeah.
If you decide to split your joint account 50-50, can you tell the other what to do with the other 50?
Well, what was the terms of the agreement? Did you agree that when you split it 50, you have your paycheck, you keep 50%, you put 50 in the joint account? Did you agree that the 50% in your individual account, did you agree that you want to be open about it? All right. If you did that agreement, follow it. Now, I know we are talking about transparency. In the first place, if there is true transparency in your marriage, you shouldn't have this problem. But it looks like you people discussed that you will keep 50% of your income and put 50% into the account. And so that 50% you keep, in the real sense of scripture, it is important that your partner knows what happens over there. All right, they need to know what is happening over there. So if they have access, they can see what is happening over there. It's your money you have spent, but at least they see what is happening. These are the things that can build a marriage. He may not like it that you bought a shoe for $200, $300, but at least he saw it. You didn't hide it. She may not like it that you bought that golf club for $700, a piece of stick, just to knock a ball. But at least she saw it. She has access to the account. So it helps and breeds trust, okay, in your marriage. So even what you hold on to, it's okay that your partner will have access to it and look and see.
Yes, very important. You have to open up to your partner about everything that you use your money for. I don't think you have to hide it when you are spending. If you are overspending, that is a problem. That if the other one is stronger enough, not a spender, that person can come in and help out. But if you're overspending, please watch out. It's not going to help your relationship.
Yeah, I think I saw a question here. Is there such a thing as too much transparency? Well, in a very healthy relationship, there's nothing like too much transparency. If the marriage is healthy, you can be as open as you can, because both of you enjoy knowing about yourselves. All right, so you can be as transparent as you can. Do marriage counselors address finances?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We address finances. We help couples to plan how they want their finances to do and to be, and we encourage them to follow through with the plan. We talk about it, we ask them to put a plan together, and then we encourage them to stick with the plan.
Can you test a person's transparency to see their maturity?
If so, how? Yes. You can trust a person's transparency.
Test.
You can test a person's transparency. There are many ways to do that. Come up with sensitive, begin with one sensitive issue and find out how they handle it. If they are good, go to the other one which is more sensitive than that one. Then you can tell that they are mature. So let me give you a real example. In your life, your fingers used to worry you. You steal a lot. You were stealing before Christ saved you, you changed, and you are now a good man, a good woman. And so in your marriage, you now begin to talk about your partner. God has been so good. I used to be a thief, In that office I worked, I stole from there. In that shop I work, I stole from there. But God has now changed me. Now, if after you said this, the money in the room gets missing, your partner does not know where they put the money, and they are looking for the money, and they ask you say you can't find it, and they don't say anything, but somebody else, you tell them you can't find it, say you can't find it, you are the thief, you are the one with the history of stealing. Between the two of us who have stolen before, you have stolen, I can't find my money. I believe that spirit has taken over your life again. Know that this man is not mature. I'm just giving you a hypothetical case. So this man is not mature. Please be very careful what you discuss, because whatever you discuss, they will use it against you. So immature people, usually when you discuss stuff with them, when it's convenient for them, they use it against you.
Yeah.
So you test them. As long as they have not used against you, they are displaying maturity. But when a particular area of your life, you raise an issue and they try to use it against you, then in that particular area, they lack maturity.
So you don't go on to say things like that again.
Yeah.
You wait until that person too is mature.
That's right.
How do you solve the issue of having a joint account that got closed by the husband shortly after your marriage with no deposit in from the man, with no explanation given by the man?
You have your own account and a man asks you to close it down and there was no deposit in it. Please.
From the man.
From the man. Usually this is what I will say. We've had this in our preparing people to get married. For instance, we prepare somebody to get married and the person had tens of thousands of dollars in the account, about $50,000 before the person was getting married. I told them plain. I told them, both of them. I said to the other one who doesn't have anything, I said, before you marry this person, this person had $50,000. It is the choice of the person to put it in there for all of you to spend. You don't force yourself and say that we are married, so it's ours. So let's begin to blow it. In fact, if he was blowing the money, you wouldn't have come to find the $50,000 over there. So don't let your partner bully you into giving up what you held in your hands before you get married. Even in the law courts, when, God forbid, when people are now separating or divorcing, the assets that are splitted are the assets that were gained in the marriage, not the one before the marriage. So I would say that whatever you had before the marriage, it's yours. It's your choice to share with the person. But they cannot bully you by saying, close the bank account down, bring all the money, let's transfer it here. If they are wise enough, they will pamper you and handle you well so that money become part of your household money.
What are you really great human relationships harder to
So go ahead. Why?
get, but lousy ones are more transparent yet easier to dismiss?
Sorry again. Say that again.
What are really great?
Why are really great human relationships harder to get? So it's difficult to get human relationships, but lousy ones are more transparent yet easier. I still cannot get a question. Okay, why is it harder to have a great relationship? Okay, please let it be easy. When the sentence is a round on, it's very difficult for us to pick up. So it's not like it's good relationships very, very difficult to get. You have to make your choices right. I don't know whether you get attracted to people who will not help you to have a great relationship. I don't think good relationships are hard to get. I don't think they are hard to get. I don't think they are hard to get. I think maybe it's the people that you are meeting. Or I think sometimes something about you yourself that you need to deal with. And if you keep complaining that, I've met 15 people, it's hard to have a good relationship. And so check yourself also. It could not, maybe not the 15, but you. So I would say that it's not too difficult to get good relationships. I don't think it's difficult. But if it's a problem for you, first check yourself.
My man never buy me any present, but rather I gave him present occasions all the time, even Mother's Day. I did not even get a card from him.
My God, is this man?
Sorry.
Is this man a man you are married to, or a man you are dating? If you are dating and you are planning to get married, I think that you should consult the altar. Because if you are buying Mother's Day card now for your man,
And he's not giving you
between the two of you, who should we buy? Who should we buy a card? Or you bought a card and wrote his name and gave it to yourself? All right. In a relationship is about sharing. Okay, it's about sharing. And giving of gifts is also part of the relationship, especially the people whose love language is gifts. So I think that man needs help. And you need to be honest with the man and tell the man how you feel about the fact that he doesn't get you gifts. Don't attack the person. Sit down with the person. Tell them how you feel. And tell them how you will feel if you receive gifts from him.
That's right.
It's important he knows why you want the gift.
Let him know how you feel.
Let him know how you feel about that. It's very, very, very important. But if you are giving, and he's not giving back, I don't think you should force yourself to give. Give because you enjoy giving, but don't give in expectation that he will give to you, because you'll be disappointed all the time.
Yeah.
Any more questions, baby?
Hold on, don't go. Should you discuss
A prenup.
a prenup during counseling, especially if one person is bringing assets into the marriage?
Yes. Please discuss a prenup. You are going to get married. You are a millionaire. Your husband is not a millionaire. You are not too sure whether the person is marrying you for the money or for you. There is nothing wrong with you discussing a prenup, bringing it up in counseling. If the person who is getting married to you really came to marry you and not your money, they will not get worried about the fact that you are discussing a prenup and there's a prenup agreement. I don't see anything wrong with it. Any more questions, baby? I think there's more questions. Oh, what is prenups? Prenuptial. Prenuptial just simply means that before you get married, usually people come into the marriage and they have assets. Let's say my wife is coming, we're going to get married, we're going to get married, and she has a lot of money, and she comes in. Before we tie the knot, before the nuptial, before the marriage, okay? Before the marriage, we have to discuss that. Prenuptial simply means pre-marriage. That's what it means. It just means pre-marriage. So before marriage, and that term is normally used to discuss finances, okay? So before the marriage, that you talk about the finances, and whoever, the person who is a millionaire or bringing a lot of money can just decide to say that I want an agreement before we get married, free the marriage, that this money I have is not part of the marriage. Cool.
Yes.
I'm checking with my Instagram.
How do you deal with a high maintenance woman and her family who insist on an excessive dowry?
Okay, my brother, don't kill yourself before your time. I prophesy good health and long life for you. May God satisfy you with long life. But you yourself, you know that this woman that you have is high maintenance. I think you have to be frank. On a serious note, I think you have to be frank with the lady. And I think you should let the lady know your financial standard, even if you have it, that you are frugal, and that if you are blowing everything, you shouldn't have come to meet some. So negotiate with the lady. Let the lady negotiate with her family what you can afford. Because they are not, the family is not selling their daughter to you. We do that out of respect. So discuss with the lady that this is too much. I cannot handle. I know you are high maintenance and I chose you, but this one is now killing me. So I cannot go this length. I cannot handle this expensive and excessive dowry. So discuss with your folks.
Do what you can afford.
So, and Mamina has said
Yeah,
it.
do what you can afford.
Do what you can afford.
Yeah. And I think that talking to the lady about it before going to see her parents is very important.
Yeah.
You know, do what you can afford. Don't be under pressure, or don't be pressured to do what you cannot afford. Do what you can afford in agreement with the lady.
Also, I think more questions just flew in.
Okay. How do you deal with if your partner is against a prenup? How can you navigate this?
You need an arbitrator. You need somebody to be in the middle who will sit down and discuss. If your partner is against it and you are for it, and it's turning into an argument, it means that both of you are not meant to be together, or you don't have to be together, because you need to have an agreement to be together. You want prenup, they don't want prenup. Please, I think you should now discuss. If there's a deal breaker for both of you, then you better just move on.
How well do you prepare before marriage? In what sense? Somebody's asking, how well do you prepare before marriage? Is it in finances or?
Okay, well, when we have a discussion, to talk to singles about preparing for marriage, we can talk about that.
Okay.
So that's very broad. Okay, honey, there's one here.
If your partner is against, what do you do if your father doesn't approve of your boyfriend? What do you do? What is it about your boyfriend? What is it about your boyfriend that your father disapproves of him? What is it about him? Why is your father saying that he doesn't like your boyfriend? Please let us know why.
Yeah, and then if your father doesn't like, what is your mother saying? If your mother doesn't like, what is the other important people in your life saying about this boy? All right. Sometimes, for those of us who come from Africa, there are sometimes where your father would not like a boy because they come from a particular tribe, a particular clan, or whatever. Okay. Or even here, so it's I don't want my child to marry a Caucasian. I don't want my child to marry this person. It could be like that. But let's find out the reason why. If the reason your father is giving is not a strong reason, there may be other people in your life who are influential enough who are able to speak to your dad and get this thing done. We have, in marriage counseling, we have had cases where parents were actually against the choice that their sons or daughters were making. We have been brought into the...
If only the gentleman is somebody that, is marriage material, but just that because of maybe the person's one or two things are not meeting up.
Yeah.
So the parents are not on the woman's side to marry the man. That one, anybody that the gentleman look up to or respects, step in favorable of the guy.
Yeah. So like the example I was giving, in church we've had some of these challenges, and what we have done is that we have stepped in. We have had meetings with the parents, and we have been able to get these things resolved. And we've actually had good results in discussing these issues with the parents. So you can try your pastor, you can try a wise, intelligent person that your parents respect and discuss with them, and your parents will be able to might approve of the relationship. If you find out
last minute that your partner is highly in debt and they weren't transparent, should you call off the wedding?
It's your choice, my dear. Say it loud.
I don't think you have to call off. That's not the only thing that's not everything in the marriage, or that's not everything to do with marriage. Okay, so I won't call off the wedding. If I were you, I'd rather be in the marriage, let the wedding come on. After the wedding or in the marriage, you talk about it. Let him be transparent enough. Let him be honest to you, and let him come up with some secret things that he's been hiding from you.
Yeah, I think that first of all, you have every right to be upset. You should be upset with the person. You should be able to tell the person that their behavior has been deceptive. And you should tell them that, like Amina said, they should have brought it up earlier and ask them what else are they hiding. And let them make a promise to you that as you are getting married, they have not hidden other important things that you should know. And my decision is my counsel is this: look at it. Is it worth calling off the marriage because they didn't tell you about that? What about you? Have you told everything? If you have, would you at least let this one slide? And like I said, make an agreement with the person that next time, if they try to hide something like this, that's not good. And so they should use the moment to now reveal to you other things you need to know, and ask them why they even hid it from you. And if it's a very good reason why, you might be gracious enough to forgive them and let the marriage go on. How do you deal with a man who is not forthcoming with a detailed plan for your future together? This person has already called your family to discuss marriage, but there is no detailed plan. Well, my sister, there are men like that. They live by the day, unfortunately. If that's the kind of man you want to be with, then I'm afraid you are going to be the leader of the house. Not like you are going to be playing a lot of role like a leader. Have a discussion with the man. Have a discussion with the man that you want a detailed discussion. Sit down with them and have a discussion. Have a pen, have a paper, talk, and draw a plan. If they cannot draw it, they should tell you. They should say it and you will write it. If it's not forthcoming, but this man is a good man, let somebody meet the two of you. Raise your concern and let the man be helped to begin to plan well. Some people just don't know how to do this. So you need to, the man can be groomed, can be helped, can be prepared to be able to have a plan for his life and for his future and for your future family. Can
a Sunday church goer marry a person that is Seventh-day Adventist?
Is it wise to do so? You are all Christians. Okay, you are all Christians, but the issue now is how grounded are you in your faith where you are? Because this issue is going to come up. Are you going to be in the same church? Are you going to take your stand and say that I'm going to be in SDA? Is he going to say that I'm going to be attending the church where they go on Sundays? So you need to discuss it. And you yourself, what is your choice? What do you want? Would you be comfortable to, if you are in SDA, would you be comfortable to be part of a church like where your partner is in? If you are in a church like the church I pastor, would you be comfortable to be in SDA? I think these are very legitimate questions they need to discuss together. And this must come up earlier on in the relationship. And if you are not getting answers from both ends, I think that this can create a big problem, and you better start thinking about what you want to do.
Yep.
As a man, how do you create a vision for your family? How do you create a vision for your family? Well, everybody must have a plan for life. And everybody must know where you are going. So when we say creating a vision, it's just a picture for tomorrow. Where do you want to be in the next 10 years, 20 years? As you are getting married, where do you want to see your marriage in the next 5 years? Where do you want to see your wife and your children in the next 15, 20 years? You begin to write these things down. What do you want to achieve? That's all we are talking about. Now, if you don't know how to do this, it's important that we have a discussion with you, whoever can have a discussion. And if you are around, I would love to do that. To just have a discussion, find out what is in your heart, and help you to translate it into a coherent, organized plan where you can easily communicate it. I think our time is almost far gone now. We'll take the last question and then we'll go.
What should you do if you are struggling to settle on a church for you two to serve in? I think my husband and a wife. When you are both not willing to switch to the other
person's church.
Person's church.
You want to take it?
What do you do?
They are confused which church to attend.
Which church to attend?
His or her church.
You have to find out if the other person's church is a Bible believing church.
Both are Bible believing churches.
Both are Bible believing churches.
Yeah.
Okay, this one, because you're a pastor.
But you answered the last time. So is that the commitment level of each of you in the churches that you are in?
Oh, is that the same?
Yeah, the commitment level. If I am a chorister in my church, and you are a pew warmer in your church, and we don't have a problem with the churches we are. I don't have a problem with your church. You don't have a problem with my church. I serve more in my church, so it's only wise that you join me in my church, because I'm rooted in the church. I'm using my gifts in the church. I'm more committed in the church, and you are not doing anything in your church. It's better you just join me here. However, if you still love that church, when they are having events, you can go. I can go with you. If you have a friend or two over there, I don't mind. If they're having special events, we go together and spend time together over there.
Yes.
Cool. There was a last question that came in.
Almost done.
That's it. We're done. Yes. Okay, that's the last question. So thank you very much for
your time.
Thank you for your time. Mama Mina, any final words?
Yes.
To all our viewers on transparency.
Thank you so much
on transparency
for joining us today. We believe that you've learned something, and that we know that you're going to practice it, and you're going to do well in your relationships by the help of the Holy Spirit. May God bless you. Be transparent as a wife to your husband, as a husband to your wife. Be honest enough. Open up. Don't hide anything from each other. Okay? Just be who you are. And be honest. May God bless you all.
Father, I want to thank you for your people, and thank you for this opportunity to share with your people, Lord. We pray the spirit of transparency to rest in their homes and rest in their relationships, oh God. Give them the wisdom to even handle the transparent things that will be released and revealed to them, oh God, through their partners, Lord. Amen. Strengthen every union and every marriage. Amen. Strengthen every relationship, oh God. And at the end, may the relationships, may the marriages reveal your glory to the world. We bless you and we thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Thank you, Lord. God bless you. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful week.
It's a good night.
And bye. Bye to Ariane.
Maybe
bye,
just a touch of a hand.
Bye, Gifty.
Well, me, I fall in love with you every single day.
Gifty. God bless you for joining us.
Tell you
till the end, Agnes. So God bless you, Rosemary.
Miss Caramello. Bye-bye. God bless you. Lexus. God bless you. Miss Alicia's. God bless you.
Please hit the like button, like and comment. Let us know if what we are teaching you is benefiting you. Is beneficial. That's all that we want.
So inbox us. Inbox us.
God bless you. If you want us also to come up with a topic, feel free to inbox us. May God bless you, Amma. God bless you, Mode. God bless you, Gifty. God bless you, Derek. God bless you.
So don't forget, Instagram viewers, please follow us on Instagram, Mama Mina. Mama Mina's Instagram handle is Mama Mina. Mama Mina. Mine is I am AGOR. I am AGOR. I am Agor. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. And then, like Mama Mina said, send us topics we want to discuss next week. We want to discuss for singles. Before I say I do, what do I need to do? What do I need to know before I get married? Before I say I do, it's going to be great. So please also throw in your questions about choosing a life partner before I say I do. Let's say goodbye.
God bless you. Goodbye, Renessa. God bless you, Samson. Goodbye, Vida. Bless you, Elom.
God bless you, Pani. Thank you. Hello, Abana. God bless. Thank you. I am Muni. God bless you.
God bless you, Amelia. God bless you, Raz. God bless you, Anderson. Arama Anderson. Okay.
Yeah, God bless you.
Oh, Arama. Oh, you said I'm shy of the camera. Oh.
Diana Boku, thank you for joining us, the worshiper. Thank you, precious one. God bless you. My Z, God bless you. Nana, thank you very much. We love all of you. We appreciate you. Evelyn, Osei, Denise, God bless you.
We appreciate you, Mickey. We appreciate you, Pearl. We appreciate you, Leticia. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Princess. Thank you, Nada. Oh, thank you, Marilyn.
Amadipa, God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you.
Mr. Mongo, God bless you. God bless you.
Hey, Mr. Richard. God bless you. God bless you, Albie. God bless you, Kishara.
Kishara.
God bless you, Adama. God bless you, Linda.
Thank you. Love you all.
God bless you, Stephen.
Bye, Instagram viewers. Bye.
God bless you all. God bless you so much.
Well, me, I fall in love with you every single day.
Today.
And I just wanna tell you,
hi to all of you. Stay safe.
So, honey, now
and well.
Take me into loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars.
We love you.